On the surface, stable long-term agency contracts may seem like a great fit for your agency, but while they have their benefits, did you know that they may also kill performance and incentivize churn? Definitely not what your agency needs. This brings us to the important question. Are long-term agency-client contracts a necessity or a roadblock to growth? As with everything, you need to know the pros and cons to arrive at the answer, and we spoke to a number of agencies to find out more. Let's dive into the first major pro, security. For you, they are a promise of secure and steady cash flow. For the client, they assure that goals will be met in a timely manner.
Long-term contracts provide both parties with a sense of security. Businesses can rest assured that their customers will remain loyal and their cash flow will remain consistent. Likewise, customers can be sure that their needs will be met and that they will get the marketing services they need when they need them.
On the other hand, there's also a dark side. Let's face it, long-term steady cash flow is a pretty sweet incentive. The issue? It can keep both the agency and client trapped in an unhappy situation. It can also get worse.
I think long-term contracts mostly serve the agency, as they can lock down recurring revenue for a set period, but the client is stuck regardless of the outcome, which puts them at a clear disadvantage. If a partnership is not going so well, it ultimately becomes a disadvantage for both parties.
It can also get worse. Long-term contracts can also make it harder for you to let a bad client go.
Firing a client that is toxic saves the team from unnecessary stress and anxiety. It also saves the company from overinvesting in one client because they're demanding, whilst potentially losing time managing a good client.
Let's come back to pro number 2, which is around being able to plan better.
The advantages of a long-term contract are planning and stability. You have really good insight into what your bandwidth is going to be and what resources will be required.
An example of this are opportunities such as trade shows and podcast appearances. But here's the catch. These events often occur smack dab in the middle of your agency's crunch time. By having long-term contracts, you can plan for these events in advance and efficiently allocate your resources. Now, while the pros of being able to plan for capacity is great, they don't always do much to make long-term contracts easy to sell. Many folks are risk-averse or just plain new to the industry.
Many clients may be hesitant to commit to a long-term contract, as they may be unsure of what the future holds and uncertain of the benefits they will receive. To address this issue, focus on the advantages rather than the potential risks. Explain how long-term contracts bring about cost savings, provide them with security, and help to build strong relationships with their suppliers. By highlighting the potential benefits, it's easier to convince clients to sign on the dotted line.
In some industries, short-term results are almost impossible. SEO is a perfect example.
Long-term SEO takes time to get decent results, and if clients do SEO for a short-term period, they will ultimately lose money because they won't get the results they're looking for within a short time period. Most web users don't click past the top 3 results of Google. Therefore, if a client does SEO for the short term and we get them from page 5 to page 1, they won't truly benefit from SEO because they won't have made it to the coveted top 3 where the majority of traffic lies.
So sometimes long-term contracts are necessary to demonstrate ROI. That said, long-term efforts aren't immune to market changes. Take Google Ads, for instance. After Google's privacy changes in 2022, agencies now tend to spend more billable hours optimizing ads to get the same results. The lesson here?
Long-term contracts can be inflexible and difficult to alter once they have been signed. This can be problematic if either party's needs or circumstances change.
When a client commits long-term, how does it make you feel? For most agencies, the answer is simple. Pretty darn good. So good, in fact, that their commitment makes it easy to justify perks such as a 10% loyalty discount.
Long-term contracts can bring about significant cost savings for both parties. This is because businesses can secure a consistent price for their marketing services for the duration of the contract. This eliminates the need to renegotiate prices and helps to ensure that budgets are not overspent.
This is a win-win because it increases rapport and boosts your chance of receiving a positive review or testimonial. But even the loyalty perks can address one age-old problem. Over the long term, a client's needs may change. Why is this an issue? Well, because long-term contracts tend to tie up a lot of resources and they can make it difficult for you to pivot when necessary. As a result, if a contract isn't flexible to accommodate the client's evolving needs, it can contribute to churn. One final pro can be found in the intangibles. Money aside, the longer you work with someone, the higher the chance of developing a good business relationship.
Long-term contracts help to build strong relationships between both parties. This is because both parties are investing in each other, and their commitment to the contract shows their dedication to the relationship.
This often results in upsell opportunities and can also generate good referrals and testimonials. But then again, no matter how you package it, a client's overall financial investment tends to be much higher with a long-term contract. Since many clients are either risk-averse or simply unable to afford the high upfront cost, your acquisition rates will likely be lower than they would be with short-term contracts. Now, is this impossible to combat? No. One potential fix is to offer installment plans or flexible payment terms. In fact, all of these cons have a solution, and our blog dives into each of them. Head over there to learn more about what agencies say about long-term contracts and when you should use short-term contracts over long-term ones. Find the link in the description below. And if you found any of this to be useful, then be sure to check out some of the other helpful videos on our channel. That's it for me. Until next time, thanks for watching.